Today on the channel from the brand new Mattel Elite Survivor Series wave, we build the Build-A-Figure Rick Rude. We also rank the entire wave from my least favorite to my favorite.
The spirit of the warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here. Welcome back to the channel for another Build-A-Figure and Rankings video, as today we're talking all things Mattel Elite Survivor Series wave with the Rick Rude Build-A-Figure. But for all your wrestling figure needs, including this Survivor Series wave, make sure you're hitting up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. And let's get down to it. Let's start it off first with the Build-A-Figure of Rick Rude. Let's pull out these pieces here. Let's put this together. Now, this Build-A-Figure is a genius one. Of course, it is a 2-in-1 Build-A-Figure. It's going to force somebody like me and probably a lot of you guys to get two of these because you need one on your DX shelf, one on your NWO shelf. That's just the way it's going to be for me. Luckily, if you guys have been collecting Build-A-Figures for a while, some of these pieces are changeover ones. You can use them with the Danny Davis referee with the legs. Some of the other guys, Paul Ellering, of course. It seems to be, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, is the torso piece is the magic piece with this one. I don't think we've seen this tie-color combination anywhere except in this, but I think we could track down these arms maybe from Vince McMahon or Paul Ellering or one of those. The legs, of course, we could probably track down from Danny Davis, like I said, or Paul Ellering. The heads, you obviously need these, but you do get both heads with the Ultimate Warrior, so you pick up the Ultimate Warrior, you got both heads. So you don't quite need to buy a second set of these. Hopefully with a little ingenuity, I think I might have an extra set of arms. I definitely need another torso. I definitely need another set of legs, and I might be able to build out my Rick Rude. But let's put him together. Let's see how hard this goes. And of course, pretty easy to put it together if you know how to do it, unless you're new like me and can't figure it out. But holy cow, we're not fitting. We're not fitting. The torso's not fitting. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Oh, there it is. So what you got to do is you got to turn it, give it a twist, and turn it in. That's how it goes. It wouldn't just pop right in. That scared me, made me a little nervous. It's usually the arms on these Build-A-Figures that are more challenging, I've found. Let's see. Let's get this Rick Rude arm in, see how well that goes in there. There he goes. That goes in just fine. I love that. Pop in the other one. Just fine. Love that. Everything is tight. Good to see. Good to see. And now we're sitting here with a suited body for old Rick Rude, the old Ravishing one. One of Ultimate Warrior's greatest opponents of all time, as we know. Feuding over the Intercontinental title, the World Heavyweight title, all that fun stuff. But there he is. Now we got to choose the heads. And I'm going to take a look at that, both heads, see which one goes on here first. To me, my favorite head is the bearded Rick Rude. I like that look. A little bit more distinguished Rick Rude, of course. Time in DX, his time in ECW even, I believe he had a beard going on. And then very smartly, genius on Rick Rude's part. I don't know if it was his idea, but of course went to Nitro the next week when Raw was taped, shaved the beard off, gave it a different look. Very, very cool. But I'm definitely going to go with the bearded look on this one. That's the way I'm going to go. We're going to pop that head on here. And the cool thing about this body is if you don't want it to be Rick Rude, you can really make this into almost anybody. It's a good suited body figure for anybody that needs one. So you can do that. But oh yeah, it's coming together, Rick Rude. Uh-oh, that arm just popped out on me. We've seen that with Build-A-Figures in the past, that sometimes these arms aren't as tight as we would like them to be. But I got it back in there. We'll see if it stays. But Rick Rude looking good. Looks just like Rick Rude to me. I mean, obviously it should be. It looks like him. And this is one of the most requested figures out there in the fan zone, I would say. People wanting a Rick Rude, wanting a Build-A-Figure of him. I don't know about Build-A-Figure, but we'll take a Build-A-Figure. And this is the perfect example of a Build-A-Figure when it really does work. We'll walk through the articulation here on Rick Rude really quick. We all know that. The arms go around. You do got the bicep cut. You do get a single jointed elbow, pins in here. This is a suited body. Maybe they need to retire this one because a suit would look really good pinless. I think it's time to get that. Mattel get working on that one. You get hands. Of course, hands are removable. You could mix this up with something else if you want to. You want to give Rick Rude some fish, you could do that. A little waist articulation, not a whole lot. No ab crunch on this suited body either. Head up, down, all around, side to side. And then you do get the thigh cut, you get the double jointed knees, and you get ankles side to side, back and forth. But it is a suited body figure. He does come with a briefcase. Of course, I believe this is what he carried around in DX. Did he carry around a briefcase in the NWO? I don't remember if he did. I don't think he did. I think it was just DX. So he does have a briefcase. We've seen this before in many different colors, sometimes with the Money in the Bank on it. but just a plain Jane briefcase. But makes sense to the whole Rick Rude gear. Now, is this my favorite Rick Rude figure of all time? Would this be a top 10 Rick Rude figure? Probably not for me. Maybe top 10. Maybe coming in at number 10. Maybe, because it is a bit iconic. But when I think of Rick Rude, I think of a lot of other times in his career. Give me some Dangerous Alliance Rick Rude figures. That's what I really want. But I like this. This is great for longtime collectors. It is a perfect Build-A-Figure. I would love to see Mattel give us more things like this. And I always love getting a 2-in-1 figure. I think it is a smart, when you put your business hat on, makes a lot of people like Kyle and others out there have to pick up 2 of these. So very, very good idea from Mattel. I like this a whole lot. Does he fit on a ringside collectible stand? That's going to be a $1 million question. I would assume he will. And he does. He fits like a glove. So there's old Rick Rude on the ringside collectible stand. Looking really good here. Man, a lot to like about this, and in some ways, these always feel kind of like a free figure as well. That's another thing I love about Build-A-Figures, Marvel Legend included. I always think of the price point as the figure and the Build-A-Figure as a freebie. We know that's not the case, but it's a good way to trick your customer to feel like they're getting something bonus, and that's how it feels to me. And I'm going to keep it because it feels special. There you go. So there it is. There's old Rick Rude Build-A-Figure. Now we got to incorporate him into the group, and we got to rank this wave from my least favorite to my favorite. All right, it's time to rank the Survivor Series wave from my least favorite to my favorite. Make sure you put your rankings in the comments down below. We always do these videos at the end of these Elite sets, and this Survivor Series wave, no different. So an interesting set as a whole. I like it. I love the Build-A-Figure aspect. Love getting the Rick Rude finally. Of course, Ultimate Warrior, right in my wheelhouse. I love that. Becky Lynch, that seems different than some of the other ones. It's a one-night-only costume, so it does feel a little bit more special than some of the other Becky Lynch figures we've had. A good update throwback figure in Drew McIntyre, making a lot of people that have the old one to want to buy this one for all the new bells and whistles. And then a little bit of a paint-by-numbers AJ Styles is what we got here. So a very diverse set and an interesting set, and really capturing a lot of different generations of wrestlers in different periods in wrestling time. So an overall, all-around good set. I wouldn't call it a great set. It's not the greatest set of all time, but it is cool for what it is, and it's a nice little subset in the grand scheme of the Mattel Elite line. So let's kick it off. We got 5 figures, and we're going to start with number 5, work our way to number 1 as we always do. And like I said, put your list in the comments down below. And number 5, unfortunately, I'm going AJ Styles. Just not enough meat on the old bone for old Kyle on this one, as I like AJ Styles, got nothing against him, but we've got a lot of AJ Styles that are really just like this. Maybe he would have moved up, but probably not if he would have had a Soft Goods Raw shirt. I want to rectify that. Hopefully I got one of those shirts floating around somewhere I can put on him, as I do think that would make the figure look a little bit better. But AJ, nothing inherently wrong. If you don't have an AJ Styles, you're a newer collector, you really love Survivor Series 2020, by all means, you should pick this up, as it is a good figure. You get extra hands, things like that. AJ Styles coming in at number 5. Now we go down to number 4. This is a closer group than ever. AJ's a pretty solid number 5. Some of these guys, you wait 6 months. Some of these things might switch around a little bit. But as of right now, as we're doing this video, number 4, I'm going Becky Lynch. I'm not a huge Becky Lynch fan, I guess, even though we live in the same state now. We're practically neighbors at this point. But Becky Lynch, I do like what we have here. Like I said, it's a new attire. It does look good. It's just, I don't know. I'm just not a big into Becky Lynch. I don't hate female figures, but they've never been my first instinct, like, oh, yes, I'm getting this female figure. So maybe that's part of it here. But it's a good Becky Lynch. It's a good representation. It's a good one-off Becky Lynch. It's just not closer to the top of my list. I guess we'll put it at that. So there's 5, there's 4. Now we're at the number 3 spot. Who do we got at number 3? I'm going Drew McIntyre. Now, this is a little higher. I did assume he would be maybe 4 or 5 going into this, but I do like this. Of course, we get the updated pinless joints on this one, a little bit more cleaner in the articulation department, as we know. Head's face sculpt, a little bit cleaner than the prior one, so that is nice. But then the jacket really brings this to the old next level, makes this feel like it's something you really need to pick up. And it's crazy, a guy like Drew McIntyre that feels like such a current star, because he is, but we get a flashback figure like this that just seems like 100 years ago, when it was only like, what, 12, 13 years ago, whatever it was at this point. So a good Drew McIntyre, and could be the sleeper of the set. I think that's a pretty safe bet. This was the sleeper of the set. A lot of people have missed out on that old Drew McIntyre, getting a second chance. And like I said in the review of this, I think we'll see a lot more things like this in the future with Mattel, so stay tuned for that one. Now we're down to the final 2. Who could it be? Who could it be? Well, it's very close on here, and I guess I'll explain each one. But coming in at number 2, I'm going Ravishing Rick Rude. I love Ravishing Rick Rude, a favorite of mine, of course. Ultimate Warrior opponent back in the day. Gotta love Rick Rude. This is something we've been screaming for. We wanted the DX version. We wanted the NWO version. Gave us both in the same set. Really cool, and I think it's very smart. Like I said, Mattel's going to make me and people like us buy a couple extra of these figures to build another Rick Rude. I think that is a good idea when you put your old business hat on. But it is a suited figure at the end of the day. It is awfully plain Jane at the end of the day. As cool as it is, it just doesn't have a ton of bells and whistles. But it definitely is an iconic moment. Happy to have this represented in action figure form. And this almost would be number one. It's just the power of the Ultimate Warrior compels Warrior to number one in this list. I don't know. We've had a couple of lists we've done where Warrior was in the talking points, but not number one. But most of the time he does win his way out to the front, just because I am such an Ultimate Warrior fan. Now, Survivor Series 1990, one of my favorite Warrior moments of all time. I put that right up there with WrestleMania 6. That team, next level team. So this is something I've been wanting for a long time. So that helps push it over here. I think the gear, the extra hands, all that is great. There's only two negatives with this one. We didn't get the white title belt. Would have really loved seeing the white winged eagle. Also would have loved a better head sculpt. The head sculpt's a little bit rough on this, and like I said, if this actually was the Ultimate Edition like it should have been, we probably would have got extra heads, and we would have found a head we really, really liked with this one. But it is okay. I'm hoping this head sculpt grows on me a little bit more. But it's not going to be a top 10 Ultimate Warrior figure of all time for me. It's just kind of there a little bit in the head sculpt department. But the rest of the package and the meaning, the nostalgia behind Survivor Series 1990 helped transport this one to number one. But really close with Rick Rude. Closer than it should be. We'll put it at that much. But a very cool set here. And like I said earlier, a little bit for everybody in this set. Current favorites, 90s favorites in the Rick Rude, late 2000-ish era Drew McIntyre, Warrior from 1990, current day Becky Lynch, and a couple-year-old AJ Styles. Something for everybody in this set. So there it is. That's Survivor Series 2022. What are your guys' thoughts? Picking these up, passing, picking and choosing. How many Rick Rudes do you need in your collection? 1, 2, 0? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, you can pick these up at ringside right now. Use the discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. But let me know your thoughts in the comments and try to put these guys in order if you can, in order of your favorites in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far, you might as well like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day. Also, don't forget about the Patreon, link in the description below. Bonus content, exclusive content, early access to videos like this. Of course, be a part of the monthly giveaways. A lot going on over there on the old Patreon. And best of all, you do support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And then don't forget about social media. SirPaul64 is where you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for Survivor Series 2022 Wave, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.